3. This has been an event in a week that I know that Cheryl and I will always cherish, and I know that we'll never forget it, and it's because of you guys, right? So I just want you to know that truly we're grateful for all of you guys that are participating, everybody that is helping, and we're going to start off singing, of course. So are you ready?
I am.
Hasn't Sharon been great?
Woo! Thank you. Yeah, so Jim asked me yesterday evening if I'd sing again this morning, but he asked me to pick the song, so no pressure. So I actually didn't get too far in thinking. I felt led to do this song for you because it seems like the synopsis of a lot of things that have been discussed is if you don't believe in yourself, get belief from somebody else.
That's right.
And so I'm a godly woman, and so it's
wow.
For me, it's God for that. So whatever that might look like for you, whether it's you're borrowing belief from someone else, you believe in yourself, whatever it is, I'm going to ask if you feel comfortable in your seats to close your eyes while I sing this song. And think about whoever that might be for you, whether you need to get it from someone else or it's the man above. So I'm going to sing the verse and the chorus of this song. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh I believe.
Wow, I love that song.
Thank you, Jim.
Look at this. You're moving people to a standing ovation. So that is a beautiful song by Lauren Daigle, as you know. And Lauren Daigle is going to sing in Charlottesville a week from tomorrow at UVA. So, oh, there you go. So that was a beautiful pick. And when you sang that, when you introduced it, I thought of the song I Believe by Phil Wickham also, which is a song I really like. And I'm going to see Phil Wickham in a couple weeks in Richmond. But he's got a song called I Believe. And belief is so critical. Cheryl, you can attest to this. I tell my grandkids every time I see them that I believe in them. I tell them 3 things. I say, boys, and now it's Elsie too, I believe in you, I love you, and I'm proud of you. I don't know about how many of you guys never heard those 3 things growing up. I'm sure I'm not the only one in the room. But thankfully, before my parents passed, they did tell me those 3 things. And I believe in you, I love you, and I'm proud of you. And I want you guys to know at Dealmaker that I believe in you. And you've heard, I've had people come up to me and say, like, in a past Dealmaker, they've heard that somebody believes in them and that they could do this if they wanted to. And I want you to know, if you're at that point, Cheryl, could you get me a glass of water? I'm losing my voice. That we do believe in you, and everybody in this room will believe in you and support you in your path forward. Did you already have a swallow? I would probably, we're friends, so. I had COVID in December, so I think I'm okay. I'm not worried about that. I think I'm immune for a little while. So anyways, it is really important. This morning we've got Brandon Lindsay. Where are you, Brandon? All right. And then Allie Murphy. Where are you, Allie? I see you. Good. Which is going to be amazing because we're going to talk about creating consistent deal flow and keeping your pipeline full so you can invest. And then I love what Brandon's teaching on rehabbing because the costs of everything have gone up a lot in the last 3 years, tremendously, and still going up. And if you don't know how to budget and you don't know how to run your job, then it's going to take too long and you're going to run out of capital and you may run out of profit. So it's really important. And the two of these folks teaching people these things is really critical to what we do. But I want you to also leave today with a really crystal clear path forward. Okay, so I just want to put this thought in your mind because, Leon, where are you? You always say a confused mind doesn't do anything, right? If you're talking to a seller about seller financing, if you can't make it crystal clear, the answer is always no. So for you guys, I want you to have a clear path forward. And I was thinking about this actually on the drive over here. Most of us either need active income, more active income, or you're trying to pivot more into passive income. So let's just start there really quick. It's like 5 minutes. Is that okay? Active income. This is money that you have to pay tax on, and that's okay. We're going to probably talk about taxes later this morning, by the way. But active income. What are some things you can do to create active income? You can wholesale. You can fix and flip. You could be a realtor and create commission. Like Courtney taught us, that's okay too. I told you my son-in-law does that. It's okay. Does really well. What else can you do to create active income like in a reasonably short period of time besides those three? What comes to mind from you guys? Flip, wholesale, commission, development. Okay. All right. What else? Short-term rentals. It's a little bit longer, but I do like short-term rentals for active income. Yes, I love that. Actually, I think when I left corporate America in 2006, I did it by wholesaling. I replaced my salary. It allowed me to put my kids through college and like allowed Cheryl and I to continue to eat and have pizza. But I think if I was doing it over in 2024, I would probably do furnished rentals. You saw with Allie yesterday, it only takes like maybe 3 of them, or depending on your market and how you do it and things, of course, but it doesn't take that many, so I do like that model then. And then you've got passive income, okay? So I see Barb and Kevin coming in. Barb's working on active income, correct? Barb, you're doing a lot of flips. And for quite a while, Kevin, you've been working on passive income. So, and that's good. That's a good way. And you could do both. I call it 2 different lanes, but the 2 lanes can cross over. It's okay. I do active income and passive income at the same time. I'm trying to do more passive income than I am active because it allows me to give my time in other areas. So with passive income, a lot of times people will pivot into the note business, okay? And Leon and I had an amazing discussion at the speaker dinner at the Boathouse the other night on rentals versus notes, and we both agreed we love rentals better, by the way, if you're wondering how that debate went. We agreed. But, you know, notes are very passive, and you can buy other people's notes, or what I really like to do is create my own notes. I've done that a lot. I've got notes in the area that have been paying for quite a few years. And that's a great way to go. You could buy a house subject to, you could sell it on a note. You could active income. How did I forget lease options? I mean, just master lease. Dario, I don't know if Dario's here, but he told how, I mean, if you had to do it over, Dario, would you take that same path to get started a couple of years ago? And how many rentals are you managing now? Okay. Life-changing? Yes. Nicole? No, it's the same thing. I'm so glad you asked that. And there's a third word. There's a third word. You know what it is? Sandwich leasing. So if you think of a sandwich, so sandwich, master leasing, rental arbitrage, in my opinion, they're all the same thing. I would put that into the active income. Like if you're trying to get started in a reasonably quick period of time, one thing you could do, and Leon touched on this, find a landlord that's got property for rent, rent it from them, furnish it, and re-rent it. Is it that easy, Terry? I mean, you don't mind me picking on you, do you? Come on back up, because I want to talk about this, because it's like if I had to create active income reasonably quick. By the way, this works great in a self-directed IRA, too. You guys want to invest a small dollar IRA. Can't your IRA lease something? Is that okay? Your IRA has $5,000 in it. Take that and invest it in some furniture, and then just re-rent it. Tell us a little bit about how you do that.
Well, when I first started out, I guess like I mentioned yesterday, the hardest part was getting the first yes, like in anything else, right? But after I found some landlords that actually happened to be brokers and understood what I was trying to do, it actually became very simple because they had multiple properties. So now, whenever they have a vacancy, I focus mostly on one-bedroom, two-bedroom units. So they give me a call, hey, we have another unit available. And so, whereas before it took more work to find the units I was trying to furnish, now they just come my way. So it's really
You've had
nice.
good luck finding them literally on Realtor.com type under the rental tab, right? Like off the
Yep.
MLS.
And because I still have a full-time job, so to save me time as well, I had an agent put me on a drip on the MLS. So when new rentals would come out, and then she would also reach out to the listing agents of those rentals to see if they'd be open to the idea.
So then you rent it. How much do you typically, like on an average one, rent per month for? Tell us your numbers a little.
I focus on I want to at least make $1,000 per unit.
Okay.
$1,000 per month.
So if you rent it for $1,500, say, or $1,200, whatever it is in your market, how much would it be?
Yeah, so right now,
Or more.
I'd say the most of them are around $1,400.
Okay.
Plus utilities are around $300-400.
Yep.
And I'm renting them up around $2,800
Ah.
to $3,000.
You guys catch that? So you rent it out at $3,000 and you're all in at like $1,700 or $1,800.
Yep.
And how much does the furniture typically cost?
Right now, you can get, if you're savvy, you can look around and find some good deals on furnitures. There's a lot of hosts that are quitting the business. So if you go on like these short-term rental Facebook pages or what have you, they're just liquidating their
tip.
houses. But if you want to buy new, it really depends on which route you take. But yeah, you can,
6,000 or 8,000?
for brand new furniture and everything. Yeah, depending on how fancy you want to get
Yeah,
with
and
it.
how many bedrooms?
Yeah. So that's a safe
Okay.
number, 5,000. Yeah.
Okay, did that help? Nicole's got a question. Can somebody run my mic back to Nicole here? You want it this off? Yeah. Okay. This is- oh, thanks. So how do you talk to landlords about renting and then, what do you do? Just say, I want to rent your apartment, but I'm going to furnish it and I'm going to re-rent it? Like, is that what you're asking, Nicole? What are the benefits to the landlord?
Yeah. So
You're keeping an eye on maintenance like crazy, right?
yeah, definitely. I also have long-term rentals, so we all know the cost of turnover, getting a unit rent ready again. Depending on how long it sits there, empty. So that's all money coming out of our pockets as from a long-term rental perspective. So if you're able to eliminate vacancy for a landlord, right?
Yes.
If you're able to be their forever tenant, like that's money back in their pocket. If you're able to eliminate turnover and just those silly maintenance calls, that's huge savings. Yeah.
So how does the conversation go? Like, you see something on the MLS come up that looks like a good rental for you. Okay, great. And then, like, you contact, I guess, the agent first, right? And this goes back to Courtney's, by the way, Courtney, because this is another realtor conversation. Like, how do you approach that conversation with a realtor, Dario?
So one good thing you can also do is look for the ones that's been sitting out there for a little while. So those ones might be a little more motivated to work with you. But yeah, just have your pitch deck ready. Tom Berry was talking about, a pitch deck, which in this case would be, very simple. You introduce yourself, ask them if the property's still available, get to know them a little bit, and then tell them about your business, whatever your business model is, whether you just let them know I provide housing for traveling work professionals, for folks that are displaced from their homes due to insurance casualties, things of that nature, and then and just really keep it simple. Like Leon says, confused mind says no. So just keep it simple so that way they don't get freaked out that you're doing parties in their houses through Airbnb, right?
So Dario, so a lot of folks in the Airbnb space have been struggling, right? Mm-hmm. Either with occupancy, regulations. I mean, I'm from New Orleans. They just struck down it's all but dead in New Orleans as of last week. So a lot of that stuff's coming on. I want to encourage you about to play defense. So when you make them an offer, do you make it, I will pay you X amount of rent every month, and it's a long-term lease?
Yes, I always try. I try my best to negotiate, lower rents if possible, no security deposit, or trying to, provide a bond in lieu of deposit, something of that nature. But yeah, you got to be as creative as you possibly can.
All right, so Leon's over here. Stand up, Leon. So we're gonna suggest a defense play for you. Okay.
Awesome.
Which is called performance-based master leasing. Has anyone ever heard of this? Because so much of what you're doing is like the turnover, like there's a lot of things that you're doing that if you can do it on performance base, if it is actively being rented, then you pay. Mm-hmm. If it is not rented, then you don't pay. And a lot of people say, why would a landlord accept that?
Every realtor that does property management for people doesn't pay the landlord rent if they don't collect any. So it's no different on performance-based. The big difference is on performance-based, if you have $100,000 income from rent on performance-based leasing and you're not a realtor, you can do it legal, then there's no Social Security and Medicare tax on that. So $100,000 income, you save $15,300 in taxes. Minimum. And there's a guy, I won't mention his name, I'll tell you where he is. He's in Summit County, Colorado. Adam and I happen to know 7 years ago he was making over $20,000 a month, performance-based master leasing. He did not own one property in his name. You couldn't afford to buy a property there and rent it out. And I'm about to give you a nugget for all you folks that live in places where the housing is Hawaii and New York, anywhere where you can't buy it and rent it without having an alligator negative cash flow. Let me tell you what John did. He would say to these folks, let me help you lose less. So he would rent these places for like $1,500, $1,800, $2,000. He was renting them out for $3,000 and $4,000 a month, and the homeowners' payments was $5,000 a month. Okay, so that works.
And so what's important, you have.
I'm sorry, Adam. On all of our Airbnbs, I don't manage the Airbnbs, and it's all performance based. And I'm talking as the owner of the property. In other words, I don't get a check if they don't rent it.
Yeah, so I do the same. I've got a midterm rental, and instead of finding a property manager, I found someone who I could master lease to, and it's been a huge deal, right? Now, ultimately, though, I'm just speaking about defense because in changing markets, offense, especially when it's a higher potential for income, usually it's there's potential risk, right? So in the arbitrage world right now, there's been a lot of people struggling. And so that's one way you can bring defense into your investing strategy, okay? Just want to encourage you, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
One last thing, I keep thinking of stuff, you know, when you're talking to the seller, you know, they might say, well, look, I want you to pay me every month whether or not you collect anything. And you can say, great. You can ask them, do you want me to take the risk or do you want to take the risk? Okay? And if they want you to, you know, take care of some maintenance or send them a check when you don't have it rented, you negotiate a much lower rent for a long period of time. And another thing, if you can do this for 10 years, get a lease, you really don't need an option because you can control that property. If they want to sell it within that 10 years and you've got a lease for 10 years, you're first in line without an option. But I don't need it.
That's awesome.
Stay sitting down.
Well, and
No,
well,
I'm up here learning.
David Tilney's longest master lease, 35 years.
Guinness Beer had one longer than that.
Yeah, 99.
99 years.
oh, no, theirs was like 5,000 years. Guinness was, yeah, it's the longest lease in the history of history. So real quick, one thing I want to point out, and I got to think about this, right? So when, especially on master leasing, not all business is good business, right? And how many people in here have been doing this over 10 years? How long were y'all in it before you realized some deals and some people aren't worth doing? Right? So keep that in mind. Like and I say this especially on the master leasing and you're doing Airbnbs, you want somebody that wants you to succeed so that they can succeed. The ones that want to squeeze you in the middle and try to put all the risk on you and take all the money in return are not good long-term people. Right? And sometimes no is the greatest sentence in the entire world. Yeah, oh, that's my thing. The good deal you miss out on will never, ever, ever cost you as much as the bad deal that you do.
So many deals Cheryl and I did not get because we weren't the highest offer. We drive by and we're like, so glad we didn't get that one. Right? All right. Sorry, you know, Dario's in Inner Circle with me. I love working with our Inner Circle folks, but I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. Dario, you've done a fantastic job building this portfolio, and obviously people have questions. Thank you for helping.
You mentioned families displaced by, stuff. How do you get on the list with insurance companies?
So one of them is ALE Solutions. You can go to their website and upload your property there.
What is it called?
Say it again.
ALE Solutions.
A1 Solution?
ALE.
ALE.
Yeah. Just go
Write
to
it down.
and you can upload your property on there. I've had from Zillow ads, insurance.
Zillow's been good.
Yeah, the relocation specialists are looking on there too, so you can go put your property up there on Zillow.
On your first picture, right, furnished rental, if you do it on Zillow,
Yeah.
it helps. Put it in the text, like write it on the first picture.
I wanted to touch on something really quick. What Leon said yesterday about not dealing with greedy people. Sometimes when you're reaching out to landlords, right, they'll see the dollar signs when you start talking about what you're trying to do, and they'll try to, raise the rents on you. So those are the kinds of folks you want to avoid, right? That's not going to end up good for you because now you're taking more than all of the risk there. So it's not a win-win for both parties, right?
Good tip.
Yeah.
Was that helpful, guys? Was that helpful? Okay, Dario, thank you so much. So that's one way you can kind of get started without needing a bank. You could do it with a small dollar IRA. I mean, wouldn't it be kind of neat if you had like an HSA with $5,000 in it to just master lease, re-rent, and make $1,000 a month for the next 5 years? Tax-free? That'd be pretty neat. So that's active income. Ways to like create money so your family can live on it or, get rid of your W-2 or whatever it is. And we've seen a lot of people come through Dealmaker that have left their W-2. But if you've got a good job and you love it, keep investing on the side. And that's like Dario. I know someday you're not going to like have that, and you're going to be free, and your deal flow is going to increase. But as long as you're able to do both, it's good. You know what I mean? Lori Eubanks, where are you? Are you here? Have you guys met Lori? Like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, she stood up at Dealmaker and she said, "That's it, I'm quitting Capital One after Dealmaker." And that was a big leap for her, right? But she did it, and she did quit it. And I won't tell you how many doors she owns, but it's a substantial amount, okay? So you can do that also if you want. But you got to have some active income while you do the other. You got to have both. So what about passive income? So hopefully you have some ideas, and you can, and what I would do is just focus on one. You could be a realtor, you could earn commission. You could do property management business, by the way, if you wanted to. You could be a wholesaler, a fix and flipper, or you could master lease, furnish it, and release. Brian Rhodes, is that you? Do you mind coming up really quick? I won't pick on you as a red door guy. Brian is so humble. Cheryl and I got home the other night after first day of Dealmaker. It was a long day, wasn't it? And so we're like flipping through the channels, and Brian Rhodes was on my TV. Red Door Guys, right? And I want to ask you about Red Door Guys, because you built an amazing brand, and it's an amazing funnel, I know, but you and I were wholesaling at the same time in like 2006. If you were starting over in 2024 and you needed active income, what tip would you give?
Put you on the spot. That is putting on the spot. I know you've had so many amazing speakers the last several days, Jim. They've given so many great tips and ideas to this incredible audience. Wholesaling is still a super easy way to do it, right? I mean, we both got started that way. And, they're trying to make the laws a little bit more difficult in Virginia, which actually I think creates other opportunities for the people that are willing to take those steps. I don't know, you really did put me on the spot. Wholesaling is just my easy, honest answer right now.
Wholesaling's good. Go there. It's all right. So how would you start wholesaling if you've never done it? What do you got to do? You got to find a deal.
Yeah, you got to find a deal, and a lot of people think that you got to spend money, and you're really good, Jim, about showing easy ways for people to figure out ways to do deals without money. And wholesaling's, yeah, right. Wholesaling's super easy, right? And there's so many tools. When Jim and I got started, just because I'm old, Jim's young, but when we got started, we didn't have all these amazing software tools that you guys have available at your fingertips, which makes this business so much easier. Just things like Deal Machine, and there's so many others that you can just snap a picture, it does all the research for you, and a postcard's out in the mail to that person. Just doing the grunt work, going and knocking on doors, and, at that ugly house, go to the neighbor and say, "Hey, do you know anything about this ugly house?" Any way that, they don't want that ugly house in their neighborhood. How do I get in touch with the owner? Just easy, free ways that you can get deals that are available if you don't have any money.
Thank you, pal. Thanks for being a friend. All right, Bill Cook. I mean, if you were going to go out and try to find your first deal, would you start door knocking? What would you do first? So I'm so honored to have you with me, Bill. I mean, you're like somebody I've learned so much from. And you teach people to knock on doors. I have knocked on doors, but you are like the master of it. How do you do it?
Well, to make it easy for everybody to understand what I door knock, since I was 12, I've made my living knocking on homeowners' doors and being invited in. So that's 50 some odd years. It's all I've ever done. And as a real estate investor, I'd take out 60 investors at a time door knocking, and I would tell them 3 things will happen. This is all across the country. And I'd said 3 things will happen when we go out. Number 1 is we'll make between 5 and 10 written offers. In a neighborhood I've never been in, no one's allowed to give me any information. I get the information from the homeowners. The second thing that will happen, and this is going to floor you, 8 out of 10 sellers will invite us in, all of us. All 60 people go into a house. 8 out of 10 sellers just been out door knocking with me. So 8 out of 10 sellers will invite us in. And the third thing is, you'll find 1 to 3 shadow sellers. A shadow seller is someone's going to put their house on the market the next 12 months. It's just not on the market yet. But to really help you understand door knocking, this year I have backed way off my teaching. My wife is going to move us to Venice, so I'm going to go to a brand new area. And I'm 64, turning 64 this year. No, don't clap for that. Crap. But anyway, so I'm in a brand new area. I'm not in my 5-mile circle around the Cartersville, Georgia Walmart anymore, so I'm starting over, but I'm about to make 1,000 written offers. I'm going to be videotaping every offer I make, taking a picture of it. You'll see the address. I'm putting in groups of 25 offers, so like 1 through 25, 26 through 50, and so on. It'll just be on my website. You can go watch it. But one of the problems that I think new investors have is they don't understand the amount of effort that goes into becoming successful. So real estate investing is a very simple business, but it is not easy. Don't confuse the two. So my website is billandkimcook.com. You'll see the video start to hit, I think, next week. So watch me make 1,000 written offers, and you'll see kind of what it takes and how door knocking works. And I'll be interviewing sellers about why they invite us in. And does that answer your question?
Yeah, so when you knock on the door and they answer, what do you say? What's the first thing you do?
If they have a for sale sign in the yard, and this